Welcome to the IT Documentation Users Group webinar. We've been numbering them based on year and month. So this is 2020-02. And we have a special treat this time around. We have ITGlue with us in person today. I've actually worked on getting them here for many months. Everything finally lined up. So we're going to get them in here pretty quick. Just a little bit about ITDUG. We are a Facebook group. For those of you who might have saw the message from a different group, our shortcut URL is there. And if you're on Facebook, you can always tag us or find us with @ITDUG. We were formerly ITDUG, in case you see any references there. And we are for all users of all IT documentation systems. ITGlue is quite a popular one, which is why we took the time and effort to seek them out and get them here today. And we really appreciate them being here. Quick history of the group. We were founded by Tracy Harden, who is also on the call. I will let her introduce herself and quick history of the group and why she founded it.
Oh, thanks, Alan. Hi, I'm no picture today because I will be on my phone today. I have to do some travel during part of this webinar. I found the group. It was originally the ITGlue users group. And the reason I found the group is because I wanted to talk to other people about how they used ITGlue and how the best way is to leverage documentation. And I couldn't find a lot of resources out there, so I started a Facebook group. I started a Facebook group because I didn't know what I was doing. And I quickly learned that although ITGlue is one of the most popular platforms, there's lots of other ways to document, and deep down, the process is all the same. So I threw the group open and it got a rename. Alan came on as a co-admin with me. And so now we encourage all kinds of conversations about different platforms. But basically, we all face the same challenges with documentation. I happen to own an MSP here in Lexington, Kentucky. I've had it for close to 20 years now. So I've been really committed to working hard in documenting my processes. I've been an ITGlue user for about 2 years now. And it's made a real difference. Every time I go on vacation or I'm sick, everything's documented. Well, not everything. Everything's not always documented, but most everything's documented and stuff runs on its own, which is my goal. I would think most business owners' goal is to having their company run when they're not around. So it's been a great experience for me to use ITGlue, and I'm very happy to see them here today.
Very cool. And I'm Alan. I own Eureka Process. I joined the group because I've used documentation systems for quite some time and had some ideas. I wanted to, Tracy actually hard sold me to help her run this group. So glad that she did. We've managed to continue to climb membership. It's not like it's a paid for group or even sponsor driven. It's just a peer group, but more members means more questions, more answers, more help to your needs. So we do encourage you to keep inviting folks, get them on board, let them help the community out, answer questions. And I think we finally hit critical mass right about over 1,000 members, where we're getting questions almost every day in the group to generate some traffic. And I've gotten some great responses out of there for all sorts of platforms, not just ITGlue. A little bit about ITGlue. They're going to introduce themselves in just a second. They were founded in 2013. They are quite popular, as you can see by the numbers. I first discovered ITGlue in 2014. I was running an MSP as a service manager. My job was to increase their operational maturity level. And we knew that documentation was king. At the time, ITGlue seemed like the front runner for places to go. And so we chose that and we implemented it. And since then, in our consulting company, Eureka Process, we've actually helped over a dozen other clients implement ITGlue and find best practices to actually get it adopted and used. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to ITGlue and hope that our transition goes smoothly for screen sharing. There we go.
Yes, sir. All right. So you've got, you see a little bubble that says Anya speaking, but this is actually Hansen from ITGlue. Thank you, Alan. We know that you love documentation, so we love you too. Hi, everyone. Thanks for sparing us your time today to hear what we think about documentation. Whether you're a new partner with us or you've never heard of ITGlue, Hopefully you understand that by the end of this webinar that we too love documentation, and we're going to talk all about documentation today. For today's webinar, we're going to be sharing why we love documentation, and we're going to provide a brief intro to the products that we believe fit that type of culture. So documentation is a practice. We believe it's also a culture. Let's move on. So that you get to know the voices behind what's presented today. Here we are. My name is Hansen, and I am joined today by my colleague Anya. She's waving her hands. You can't see her right now, but she's really excited to meet you all as well. The two of us are a part of the ITGlue product team, which means that within the ITGlue family of products, we're really interested in helping translate user pains within documentation into the roadmaps for our various pieces of software, which we'll get into today. Let's continue. A little bit about ITGlue. Alan did already present a little bit about us. You can see another slide here. We have various offices around the world, with most of our operations based in Vancouver, Canada, Miami, Florida, and Dublin, Ireland. So it doesn't really matter where you are. There's generally a good time to talk to us because we're covered in a few different time zones. We use the term partners, as you can see there, over 8,500. We use the term partners to refer to our customers because in our business specifically, our customers really are the voice of what users need in a documentation platform, hence the usage of partnership, or partner for short. We are also present in the community, especially the thought leadership space. You can see on this slide, BlueX is kind of where we preach all of their different tracks that MSPs can partake in. We talk about marketing content, we talk about technician content, we talk about business content as well to drive scalability and overall help push the MSP market into higher revenue and higher scalability. This year, we've got Guy Kawasaki as our keynote speaker. And if you want to learn more, you can just hit up bluex.co. All right, so let's talk about documentation. At ITGlue, we believe that documentation is a standard of something that's structured and centralized. For our partners specifically, we know MSPs, or small to medium businesses, serve a variety of clients. So having documentation gathered across places like Microsoft Word, Wiki, SharePoint, or even various sheets of paper is inherently painful. Why is it painful? As Cindy alluded to earlier this morning, Tracy alluded to this morning, if somebody goes on vacation or just disappears from the office, a lot of information just gets lost, and that produces waste. The classic example of pain that we hear is finding out which clients are using software from a particular vendor. This is a piece of information that pertains to describing a client, but it's not really something that you create a specific document for unless you love updating the same information in multiple places. So at ITGlue, we do truly believe that documentation is something that's structured and centralized. And we have a goal of guaranteeing that anyone in your organization can access the same type of data, understand the same context, whoever they are, wherever they are, anytime they are pulling information about a client. We believe this provides value in the form of operational efficiency. And as we describe it, a below the line product, we believe that more operational efficiency makes sense for a service desk manager and for improving the bottom line of an MSP. So a little bit more about the ITGlue product. We are a company named ITGlue, and to make things really awkward, we have a product called ITGlue. So sometimes people have to be specific about what they're referring to when they say ITGlue. We'll get back into that later. We really care about integrating with the technology stack that an MSP is already using. In our research, we find that a lot of MSPs use a PSA, professional services automation, or an RMM, remote monitoring and management tools in their technology stack. And we understand that automation is a key component of ensuring service desk workers have the most up-to-date information in a single pane of glass. That's why we integrate with a variety of the hottest players in the space. We integrate with Kaseya products, we integrate with ConnectWise products, Autotask products. you name it. Things we consider really important to keep up to date include warranty information, domain expiry, network connectivity, last login activity. Such integrations are necessary for our products so that we can improve the onboarding experience, because we know that in many software adoption phases, setting up data in new software is pretty painful. So IT Glue does its best to ease the pain of onboarding. And we can talk all about how data is managed in IT Glue, which leads us to our next slide. What actually goes into IT Glue? Generally, all these things on this list prepared by our marketing team. But outside of automatic documentation, we understand that there will always be client-specific procedures and shared passwords that require some manual input to translate the data inside a person's head into a shared repository. Again, this goes back to the concept of somebody going on vacation or disappearing. Having information stored in a central repository alleviates the pain caused and reduces the amount of transition needed when somebody does need to be away from the daily operations of a service desk. The classic scenario that we want to suggest to document into IT Glue is anything that pertains to, hey, has anyone seen this type of ticket before? That's one of my favorite things to ask our partners at events.
A statement that I stole from somebody else.
Yeah, so here's a big question, like, why do we document? IT Glue as a business understands the practice of documentation. Within our own business, we only have a few offices in Vancouver, Miami, and Dublin, but the value of documentation is truly impactful. As we add people to our organization and scale our business to play nice with other Kaseya products, we value documentation so that it can provide more insight for all of our new employees so that they can get up to speed, provide proper handoff of equipment, and help manage our inventory. For the people on the call, here's some fun inside information. IT Glue lives within the Kaseya family of products, and IT Glue has actually been cited as an example of a highly functioning business, and I'm personally convinced it's because of our bias for documentation. Within documentation, we believe there are three pillars. Some people out there in the world think that documentation means having a document written for everything, but the reality is it's kind of like a culture. You have your procedural things where you reset an Active Directory password. You have the right structure so that anybody viewing some documentation gets the same understanding and concept from the information that's presented. And you have building blocks. When you have a managed asset, you have a pertaining contact of interest or a person who submits the support ticket. These are the pieces that go together as in like a relational, association, where you piece together documentation to understand the underlying problem that's presented in a support ticket or a phone call. And that's the type of culture that we try to employ in IT Glue. And speaking more to the relation of documentation, we really care about documents, we really care about SOPs, we care about the applications that MSPs will manage, and we care about the services that are provided by the MSP. We believe that the consistency and structure of all this put together is really important to make documentation easy and fun. We have this mantra that we want to reduce waste. Waste is not just like wasteful documentation or wasteful practices. It's time. Time tends to be equatable to money in this world. And we believe that reducing time waste is really critical to ensuring that your business is highly functioning. We do have a waste calculator on our website. Here's a small plug. If you hit up itglue.com/waste, this will kind of give you a at a glance feeling of how much time you could be saving with a product like IT Glue. All right. And yeah, just jumping into the benefits of IT Glue a little bit more. It kind of says here on the slide itself, we care about the structure of documentation. We want it to be consistent. We want it to be accessible, and we want it to fit well with your processes. This is really just high level IT glue stuff at this point, but we have a mobile app, we have a Chrome extension, we care about the technician. The technician we hear goes on site visits to troubleshoot issues. We hear this technician follows procedures to successfully deploy network upgrades. And with IT Glue, we centralize all this information so that when one person performs a task, that same person gets the activity translated into a format that's easy for other people to read in the company. And, we have to have a hidden benefits of IT Glue, the stuff you can't see. Documentation ties into almost every aspect of your business. We're talking about technicians and service desk workers, but documentation really pertains to the people like human resources or marketing or even general managers or CEOs. New employee onboardings are the classic example here, or even employee offboardings. Having something documented saves somebody the time to find out the process themselves and frees them from that burden. Just to talk on the last point here with QBRs, one thing that we identified a couple years ago with MSPs is that MSPs wanted to justify their services to some clients that allegedly were not hearing about them. And I think this kind of goes to how the MSP space is evolving. We used to have break fix type of MSPs. We used to kind of just charge people based on how much they talk to us. And what we're finding is that the MSPs that don't talk to their clients as often, but proactively manage their assets and proactively guide the deployment of assets to these clients do tend to perform really well. And so QBRs have kind of risen up in the industry, and we're always listening to what's happening, and we're trying to build the right features to fit the industry. If you're looking at IT Glue, you're wondering, well, how do I adopt it? Who's going to actually enter the information? We've already talked about automatic syncing of data, but really, we believe documentation is like a culture in the company. At the IT Glue business itself, whenever I need to find something or whenever somebody else wants to find something, I do my best just to give them a link to a document so that I don't actually have to explain anything. And then hopefully over time, they understand that, oh, okay, I need to document this thing so that next time I'm asked for help, I can easily point to some password record in IT Glue or point to a checklist that's always followed when we launch a new feature. And, documentation is a culture, and that's kind of the mantra that we do our best to push. And, hopefully the people in this call don't need that type of convincing. We're getting to the end of the IT Glue portion. We love developers. If you guys know any React developers or Rails developers in Vancouver, please send them our way. But we love developers in general. We are a very open platform. We partner with a lot of the big players in the space so that we can all collectively help MSP users do their jobs and improve their efficiencies. We have a GitHub page for our IT Glue, and we are pretty active in the Chrome extension community. As a business, we do love developers, and we do our best to help everyone succeed using our APIs. And one more thing about security. Security has been a pretty hot topic for 2019. So one thing that we love reminding everybody is that when we're building features, we're thinking about how does this feature pertain to the security practices of today. If we start from the top right, SSO stands for single sign-on. Passwords are actually getting pretty hard to remember. So, lots of identity providers are propping up in the space, and, we want to keep up with technology today. We care about audit logs. We care about multi-factor authentication. We care about SOC 2 compliance, SOC 2 Type 2. Actually, here's a good point. We're the only documentation product in the entire space that has a SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. And, anyone can just talk about compliance, but for us, what that means is anybody who enters our premises or is in danger of accessing some data, like we track it all. We follow and deploy very stringent processes to ensure that data is protected within our company. And we do this because we care about the privacy of our users and what they're doing in IT Glue. I can't speak for other products, but I'm really happy that I work at a company that values this kind of privacy a lot. For user permissions, we do care about that users who need to know information should be given this information on a as needed basis. You don't want somebody invading your company and just running off with all of your secrets. We do have more reports that kind of cover what a person knows when they leave the company, but user permissions are kind of like our gateway into accessing data in IT Glue. And just a couple days ago, I'm checking my watch, on Tuesday after President's Day, we launched our Vault feature. For anyone who is really interested about security, Vault is a host-proof hosting solution. What that means exactly is that passwords in IT Glue are decrypted exclusively on your machine. And that kind of decryption is controlled by a passphrase that only you, the user, knows. The marketing people just want me to say that this is the best security solution on the market for documentation products. And, from a more technical side, what this means is that even if nefarious hackers were to gain access to IT Glue, there's actually no way for them to break open your passwords unless they're holding you, the user, at gunpoint and standing with you at your machine. It's just another layer of security, and it kind of stands in line with what we believe in documentation. It has to be secure and it has to be usable for the user. Anyway, I'm running out of my time here, but we do have some more fun stuff to talk about in MyGlue and Network Glue, our two other umbrella products. So I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to turn it over to my partner here, Anya.
Thank you, Hansen. I actually wanted to add on some of the Hansen's talk is that here in IT Glue, we actually use IT Glue for our internal documentation. And I remember when I first joined IT Glue, everyone, I asked for the information and everyone was constantly sending me either IT Glue links or said, go to IT Glue, find information. So basically now the first thing I do is actually searching for information in IT Glue before I go and ask anyone. So just to build on a culture a bit, but I would like to talk about some products in IT Glue portfolio that also can boost your efficiency and your client's efficiency too. So we have in our portfolio of products, we have MyGlue. That is an application that helps small businesses increase their efficiency and secure their passwords. So you, as our partner, will deploy MyGlue to your clients. So MyGlue is a feature-rich platform, and it can be used in multiple ways. Our partners' top use cases for MyGlue deployment are internal documentation, collaboration, and password management. So I would like to go over each use case and see it in more details. Oh, sorry. So studies show that not only MSP providers waste time looking for information, but your clients too. So MyGlue will help your clients create their own internal SOPs, flexible assets, or any other internal documentation, similar to how MSPs do it in IT Glue. To be honest, MyGlue will be as powerful for them as it is for you. In addition, you can set up a library of SOPs and how to document in MyGlue so that your clients can self-serve some simple routine things like troubleshooting a printer or how to configure a work email on their mobile phones. This way, all of their internal and IT documentation will be stored in MyPlace. And what is amazing about it is that it will save for both your clients and your time. So I prepared just a small screenshot. It basically shows how IT Glue interface looks like. You can see it has some core assets and flexible assets documents documented on the left side pane. And if you see how my Glue interface looks like, it's actually really similar. So you can decide based on your business goals which core assets you want to share with your clients, and what do you want them to document within MyGlue. So again, they can deploy it either for their internal documentation or for password management or for any other use case they would like to use it for. So another use case is collaboration. And you as our partner already have all of the IT environment documented for your clients. So why don't you want to just share it with them to showcase your value? Many of our partners are using MyGlue to share what they have already documented in IT Glue with their clients, and typically with an in-house tech or with key stakeholders such as executives or office managers. I think the more your clients collaborate by providing you with up-to-date information and the more they reference MyGlue for their documentation, the more time you will save, thus you will become more profitable. So beyond securing your data that is stored in IT Glue, you can also use it in order to secure your clients' data. After we spoke with many of you, some of the biggest challenges that our partners experienced were employees storing their passwords using their preferred tool rather than a company-wide approved solution. So with this, you lose the control and visibility into your client's password management strategy. You gain no revenue, and you definitely provide no value to them because you can't support them with this tool. And MyGlue, it gives you a way to offer a centralized platform for your clients to store their passwords. This way, your clients always have access to their passwords, including when an employee leaves, and it also enhances security password sharing. With password folders, you can organize passwords at your best convenience. And we think that MyGlue is actually a win-win for both you and your clients. Having MyGlue in your toolbox not only gives you the opportunity to act as a trusted advisor and provide value add to your customers, but it also creates a revenue opportunity for you when you offer it as a part of your security as a service bundle. So we actually know how hard it is to sell any additional tools or services to your clients. That's why we also took care about this. So we can't leave you alone, and we do our best to help you pitch MyGlue. So in our IT Glue Academy, you can find MyGlue deployment guide that was introduced, I think, a couple of months ago. So it will help you to find everything that you need to know to effectively deploy and effectively provide onboarding and ongoing support to your clients. We actually have designed this course in IT Glue Academy to ensure that your clients are getting the most out of MyGlue and they are comfortable selling it. In addition, you know that we are part of a Kaseya family, so you can also get access to MyGlue sales enablement materials inside the Kaseya powered services. And so those Kaseya powered services are meant to help you in the areas of sales and marketing, because we know that this is one of the struggles that our partners have, and it will help you win more businesses. As an IT Glue partner, not only will you get free access to the MyGlue sales enablement, but also you will get some additional marketing materials, such as marketing playbook or some cybersecurity awareness campaign playbook for example. So it has actually a lot of different materials, not only related to password management, but also to security, and it will help you design your services the way you want. So again, as Hansen mentioned, like we want to document as much as possible. And we know that onboarding new users or keeping documentation up to date is a key challenge. And in addition to just document information, we want to do it in as automated way as possible. That's why we have one more product in our IT Glue portfolio, which is called Network Glue. So what Network Glue does, first of all, it automates network discovery, so you no longer have to do site walks. And actually, it has a very intuitive design, so it will require just 2 minutes of your time to set up a collector remotely for your clients, and it will do all of the work. It will collect the entire network within just like half an hour, maybe. So it also automates a documentation straight into IT Glue. So all of the documentation that was collected will go straight into IT Glue and will be tied to your already existing documentation. And what is more important, it constantly updates it. So it provides an up-to-date view of your clients' networks by automatically generating network topology map, giving you daily updates for your configurations as well as for your network topology. If you think about activities, right, that can consume your precious time when you onboard a new client, you will find that most of your time is spent on network assessment. So potentially, again, going on a site, full network discovery, and creating a topology and device documentation, potentially even in another tool that is not IT Glue. So what's cool about Network Glue is that it automates all of this right inside IT Glue, and from our research, it usually saves 3 to 5 hours of your time per client. Data that is collected by Network Glue not only helps you discover your network devices and their hierarchy within the network infrastructure, but it also helps you to enrich already existing documentation with additional information. Example is we have an Active Directory information that if you just enter your login credentials, it will bring up Active Directory information onto your existing configurations. And the devices that are discovered by Network Glue, they will be auto-matched to configuration items that come from your any favorite PSA or RMM tool. You know, we are like IT Glue is the best, is the platform that has the most amount of integrations out there, and it will match those configurations by MAC address. Many of our partners really enjoy using the network diagram, and they do it not only to understand a network topology itself, and on this slide you can see how it will look like, but also they use it as a launch pad to dive into their documentation within IT Glue. So if you see here, you just click on one device, and on the side pane you already see all of the information about this device, so you don't need to go straight into the configuration for this device. In addition, with Network Glue, your technicians no longer have to be in those stressful situations while working in a server room and working with a switch that has a lot of cables, that all of them are super messy and you have no idea what device is connected to what. So Network Glue will help you to discover, automatically discover switch ports and all of the devices that are connected to those switch ports. And finally, if your client's network is too heavy and it has hundreds of devices, you can filter network topology noise either by grouping the endpoints by device type, or you can use a search that is on the left where you can find your particular device on the topology map that is pertaining to the current ticket or task. This way you will filter a noise and will it will help you to focus on the specific device. Okay, so this is it from my side. I think Hansen will take it over.
Thank you, Anya. Hey guys, Hansen here again. As we wrap up our webinar, we're going to, advertise a little bit about why we exist as a company. IT Glue really cares about connecting technology to the everyday MSP technicians so that MSP technicians and business owners can improve their operational efficiency. I know we keep using the word efficiency and time waste, but the reality is we really do care about these things and we see the results for ourselves and our business. We've got a slide here that talks about our 2020 Global MSP Benchmark Report. Every single year, we need to understand the new needs of our users and understand where the industry is going. So we send an email blast to all of our partners and even those who are not yet partners, just to get their pulse on what's happening on the industry and what tools they're using, what they think is coming next. It's free to submit your own survey submission, and then the payback is that once we compile all the results, we send it all back to everybody. It's all collected anonymously. If you're interested in participating in this benchmark report, we'll provide some contact information after this webinar, or you can just email me at hdo@itglue.com. Right before we move on to the Q&A, our friends on the Glue crew asked that I pitch this documentation audit. If you're an IT Glue user, it's really easy to perform this documentation audit. But for those who are not yet IT Glue partners, we are more than happy to take a look at what kind of things you're documenting today, what things could be better documented, and even give you a taste of what IT Glue documentation is like. If this is something that pertains to you, you can simply visit this itglue.com/doc-audit link, and we will be more than happy to connect you with somebody on the Glue crew. And with that, that's all we got. Alan, do we have any questions from our audience today?
We have several from several places. I'm just going to go in reverse order because it's easy to scroll back up. Is there or will there be?
This is not embarrassing at all, but yes, we can hear you. Please talk, sir.
Yeah.
Will there or is there the ability to send encrypted passwords to a contact?
In today's IT Glue, we would recommend that you invite that contact to IT Glue as a light user and have them access the password from within IT Glue. We do talk about encryption here. We talked about the vault feature earlier. In some cases, when I'm listening to that question, it sounds like what somebody wants to do is view a password in IT Glue, click share or click send, and have that be encryptically sent to the contact in person. However, we believe IT Glue is just better encrypted in its own platform, especially with our host-proof hosting solution. That doesn't mean that this is not invalid. I would totally invite the pain point to be contributed to our idea portal. If you're in the IT Glue web application and click on suggest a feature, it's really pretty painless to submit a new idea. I'm happy to share the IT Glue way today, though.
Thank you very much. So I think we all care about what it can do, and features are important. I will say the ITDUG group has been used several times to promote a feature request to see if others are missing it as well, to add their vote to the topic. And by the way, I did talk with Hansen before this meeting, and I did say I'm comfortable asking uncomfortable questions. So we're all aware that no product is perfect. So if I ask about anything that's not quite right or buggy, it's just for all of us to learn and get better. Brooke reports that whenever you're missing a required field, I assume this isn't a flexible asset, and then you try to save it, it causes all the data in your form to be lost. Have you seen that before, or have a way to address that? And Brooke, you're welcome to unmute and clarify what I'm translating your text to say. All right, I'm not hearing anything from anybody, so I will ask an additional question and see how that goes. When will the vault be made available, and is there an extra cost?
All right, so it sounds like the question was about Vault and is there an extra cost? The answer to that is no. The Vault is available to every IT Glue partner as of Tuesday.
Last Tuesday?
Let me check my watch. Tuesday the 18th.
Okay, in the past. It's available now.
It's available now.
And where do you see that at?
It needs to be enabled by an administrator. So you simply log into your IT Glue account, go to your account settings. There is a new Vault tab there where you can enable the Vault. We could talk about the technology involved, but the short and sweet version is you set your passphrase for the first time and you can enable the Vault for your entire IT Glue account.
Got it. I know in another forum I saw a security expert that I trust his advice. He was extremely happy to see Vault. And he was saying it's good technology, so that's a good sign to hear.
Was that Brian?
Yes, it was.
Oh, Brian Simrow. Yeah. We actually consulted with Brian in the last few months to talk about the Vault technology. If anyone wants to get into a conversation about secret keys or passphrases or Vault access keys, just send me an email. It's really a loaded question to talk about on a webinar, but if you wanted to whiteboard it up, hit me up at hdo@itglue.com.
Sounds good. Brooke, could you ask your questions so I get the details right?
These are from, I manage several service departments, and so these are questions I asked different techs. If you have anything you want me to ask, just shoot them out there. Apparently when we are filling in required fields and then you try to save it, it will not save it and all of the data you've entered becomes lost. They would like the required fields to some way to make those more obvious that they're required so that doesn't happen in the future. Yeah,
so Hanson here again. Not sure when this bug started, but we are working on fixing it. It's been a little bit hairy because we again, are always looking for developers in Vancouver. If you know any React or Rails developers, send them our way. It's going to be fixed in the near future. It's on our very short-term roadmap.
All right. The other one that I have is we are having some issues across the board searching. I have everybody making SOPs at various client locations, and trying to search sometimes for these SOPs it's like finding a needle in a haystack. Is there ever going to be a way to enter some sort of metadata so that we can enter various tags or whatnot to search for documents that way?
Yeah, thank you for the search question. I mean, my personal take on search is that if we're entering additional metadata to find what we're looking for, it kind of solves for the symptoms of a problem, not necessarily the core problem of searching. What we end up building to fix that issue though is still up for debate. We are talking to a few partners to understand what they're searching for, what they're getting as results. If I can connect with the person who asked that question, I'd be all for setting up a chat.
Yeah, that would be me, because I have the issue as well as everybody else. It's an ongoing thing. It depends on what you name the SOP or what you name the title of the document. And when you're looking for SOPs to solve technical issues, it can be rough.
Well, we know where Brooke works, so we can find her to follow up. And I will add that in this group and in these webinars in the past, we have also talked about how we structure our documentation to help with finding things. However, you still end up with a basic search. Let's use QBR for an example. Some people call it QBR, some call it SBRs. I've also heard TBRs. Or spell out quarterly business reviews, and depending on what's in the body of your document, what's in the title, you may or may not find those ever. And so I have frequently just taken to adding stuff to the end of the title for tags, but that's not always practical.
Yeah, I mean, naming is important. As we improve our search feature, it's going to try to appease the most users that have a structured documentation system. I can't say when it's going to be done or when we can start it, but it is something at the top of our list to investigate.
Very cool. Another great question came up, and I'm going to ask it two ways. Will we ever have the option to back up our IT glue data? And my follow-up question to that is, or the ability to export or even export templates to share?
So for the first question of will we ever be able to export backups of IT glue, the way I understand this question is that right now, if we want to export a bunch of things from IT glue, it's kind of a manual process to go into the account export, click account, export entire account, wait the 1 or 2 hours, depending on how large your account is, and then go back and download the zip file at the end. How we plan to tackle this is we will continue to collect feedback on, are we going to just build this option so that users can do it? Or is there another underlying problem? Like maybe the real problem is the trust in the IT glue uptime. We have this 99% uptime, but it might be that it's not good enough for our users. So, we're going to investigate. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but
yeah, I mean, what field we're all in, and we are capable of backing up, 18 terabyte servers at the secondary locations because we care about our data. And keep in mind that IT Glue's uptime is not the only issue. We might even have our own uptime internally where we want to get to our data, or just the comfort level knowing that if anything were to ever happen, we're protected. And that can go a long way toward trust in a vendor.
Yeah, I would say the answer today is please continue contributing to that idea in the idea portal, and please continue exporting your data at regular intervals in IT Glue.
Yeah, and Dan sums it up best: trust but verify.
Yeah, great proverb there.
Right. He also mentions another cool, I guess this is a feature request, a table of contents that's automatically generated. I know we have linkages, which are great for following it. I know we have folder structure, which hopefully is well documented. But just having a visual generated for us would be amazing since the data is already there.
Yeah, so I love the document editor in IT Glue. I understand that a table of contents would save a lot of time, especially if you have very long SOPs. We're kind of at a crossroads with how we handle traditional documents. As some people will know, we do support Office Online Editor. Sorry, it's called Office Cloud Editor, where you can drag and drop docx files and other Office-friendly formats into a document list view and just edit straight from Office Online. I don't know if that's the right way of handling this scenario, but we're going to continue investigating the feedback that we get in the idea portal and determine the best course of action for our users.
And by the way, I love the concept of the Office Online Editor. I use it frequently. It's a little bit of a bummer that's only in the enterprise plan. And it could definitely be a little smoother in the transition with who has access to Office Online, et cetera.
Yeah, if it were up to you, Alan, which plans of IT Glue would you give the Office Cloud Editor to?
I feel like having all of those documents in a platform we all know and love, such as Word, would just sell your product. Therefore, it should be in all of them.
Gotcha.
Not my money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't run the business. I'm just the guy telling you about the features.
Right. Another suggestion, and I guess we're bringing them up here in case you guys might have some insight into, yes, we've seen it coming one day, or what, is custom themes or branding instead of MyGlue.
Yeah, so I can take this one too. We do have a roadmap for MyGlue. Yeah, actually, to be honest, right now, what we're seeing in the idea portal is that the thing that users want the most for MyGlue is single sign-on support. I've seen the idea for branding and having a MyGlue administrator as like probably the top two. So it's great that you bring up branding support for MyGlue, but I think what the majority of users have said to us, unless I'm just totally wrong, is that they want SSO support for MyGlue because everyone uses Azure or OneLogin or Okta today.
Yes.
Here's Anya.
And you know that we do want more than one feature at a time. We want all of them now. Another comment from one of our users, Dan's been busy. What type of development sites do you have on Chromium Edge, especially for your extensions? And I have no audio from Anya/Hansen.
Hello? Hello, do you have it now?
We do, yes.
Okay, did you hear my question?
No.
Okay, sorry. I think our audio is a bit weird. So just a question for you, Alan, out of the 3 ideas, like adding SSO to mobile app, or allowing editors to manage MyGlow users, like adding or removing MyGlow users, or MyGlow branding, which one would you choose to be the most favorite for you?
I would honestly abstain myself from this, and I'm reading questions from other folks. Steve, Dan, Lacreta, Brooke? Seeing if anybody shoots messages in the chat.
Yeah, and just so you know, like the reason we ask these questions is because we have to ask ourselves the same questions too. We have a finite number of developer resources on our team, and we're trying to balance the strategic vision of our products against what the users are asking for, against the effort it takes to build. So
all right, so Anya, if you could please give us the 3 choices, because we were being asked to prioritize the 3 choices for feature requests.
Yeah, so do you want me to type them or to talk to them?
You can say them. You can say them again. There was a question from the chat asking you to repeat the question.
Oh, okay, sorry. So the three choices is MyGlow SSO, admin, basically allowing IT Glue editors to manage MyGlow users, like add or remove MyGlow users, or branding. Which one would you choose?
Branding and MyGlow, correct?
As the top one. Noted.
Yeah, so I mean,
Brooke has said branding. Let's see what Dan has to say. He's been active.
Yeah, so I actually also wanted to tell you guys a bit about our ideas portal. I know that our customers are frustrated about it, and to be honest, our idea portal is really active, which is amazing. We love hearing your ideas, and we love the fact that you're so active, because 4,000 ideas, they don't come just from inactive users, but just realistically, we can't build all of them. So we can tell you that our entire product management team is aware about every single idea that is above 100 votes. But as Hansen mentioned, we have to make the tough decisions on which one to prioritize, because in our role, we have 100 ideas, but only one will be the first one, right? And this is how we try to go with our approach. If you look through the history, we do implement ideas. It's just sometimes to just develop one idea, it can take 3-4 months, and there is no such issue as a small idea, to be honest. So we do know every idea. We do try to reply to as many of them as possible. We are aware. It's always on our radar. We know every single idea that you guys just brought up here. It's just we are slowly moving towards a direction of implementing every single one of them.
Outstanding. Well, this small group has definitely put their arm out, or their leg out, for branding, and MyGlow is their favorite feature request to come. We are running out of time. If you guys have more questions, I encourage you to post them on ITDUG. I'll even go so far as to say you can actually @ Hansen. He's in the group now, and his email address is now posted in the chat as well. I'll be working with Hansen to send you guys up a follow-up email, and for those who registered, you can make it today, with other contact information as well. So allow me to tell you what's coming up for ITDUG before we adjourn. Next webinar, we have not set a date yet, but we have set the topic, so we're ahead of time for a change, which is great. We're going to do basically a follow-up to the one we did in January. January was about the hiring and screening process, and we put some automation behind that. We're actually going to talk about the employee onboarding process. So great, you found that new candidate. What can you do from the moment they accept the offer to the point they're happy and productive at work and want to be lifelong members of your team? That'll be coming up in late March, so stay tuned to that. Lastly, basic contact information, the ITDUG URL again. While we will send an email to you guys with the recording, you can always find all the past ITDUG articles, invitations and webinars at the URL eurekaprocess.com. And feel free to reach out to me directly at eurekaprocess.com or give me a call, because I think we still use phones these days, just not as often. Thank you all so much for attending and asking amazing questions. Thank you, Hanson and Anya from IT Glue. I know we asked you hard stuff and stuff you couldn't solve, but thank you for being great sports and letting us know more about IT Glue, what's just happened, what's coming, and answering our questions.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your week, everybody.